my fellow Mandalorians, and welcome back to the episode. We're going to talk about episode 6 of Mandalorian. I'm super excited. Actually, a lot better than last episode, so I really like we're going to talk about this. Before we get started, I want to make sure we go over the spoiler alert, and if you haven't watched it, make sure you watch it first before you listen through. So stop and come back later on. So we leave off on last episode that Mando is in Tatooine with the gunslinger episode, and we have new characters and things of that sort. So I really like the change of the pace because of the fact that I really didn't like last episode, and this episode was a lot better. I will say it's a lot better, but I didn't like the fact that last episode was just so terrible. So I'll give my rating at the end. But this took place in a space station in the middle of nowhere. It seems to be that the Mandalorian's old colleague from a job from way back, and he has a space station, and I guess the rules kind of like a sanctuary kind of place that, you know, no ask, no tell type of thing, and you're in a safe environment. But the reason why he's there is he's taking a job, he needs money, he needs to do certain things so he can survive without the guild association, and also, I guess, support the Mandalorian people that he's helping at the same time. He's taking this job, he meets all these people that he was going to do the job with, and one person that he hasn't been seen or hasn't seen in a long time. It looks like an old flame type of thing. So it was an interesting episode to see the dynamic between the two of them throughout the episode. So we fast forward to the prison job in the transport area, and we find that there's a dynamic between the three of the mercenaries who are involved with this job, and that they want to see who is bigger, who's stronger, who's like kind of pump their chests and show who's the alpha male in this place. And they come across the Baby Yoda, and the Baby Yoda is basically not trying to do anything, out of the ordinary, I guess. And you could see from this scene that the Mandalorian is really trying to protect this child in every way, shape, or form. And it kind of leans a little bit in, as I talk about in the episode, kind of where his mentality is throughout this experience with the Baby Yoda about his personal actions, so to speak. I was kind of liking more of that episode because of the fact that it was more of a kind of confined space, but also a conflict, so it kind of brought in a kind of emotional toll in a sense. And you could tell there was a portrayal going to happen throughout this episode. And once they get into the prison ship and they go through the things, they still don't think that the Mandalorian is useful, that he's not going to be able to be a badass or be anything to take care of himself or the team. So once they get in a group of droids, these droids are very resistant to blasters and stuff like that, and Mando comes right behind him and dismantles by himself. He doesn't really get any help by the mercenaries because they want to see what he can do, and he obviously shows everything and all the skills that he's able to perform. So I love that scene of the episode because of the fact that it really represented everything that this Mandalorian can do. He used everything in his disposal: blasters, blades, flamethrower, grapple, everything that a Mandalorian is really supposed to have. So I really love the fact that this episode was really action-packed in that particular scene, and throughout the episode as well, but mainly in that scene. So I really like that part. So after he destroys all those droids and they get into a control area, supposedly in this job that all this ship is all manned, is droid made, not man made. There's no bodies of any kind, no human beings, no creatures, nothing, just all droids. But once they get into the control panel, they realize that there's one person, and this is a republic, or a new republic representative, or I guess you could say a warden, or whatever the case may be. But he's a young kid, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's scared out of his mind. He sees 4 people just randomly pop in, and point blasters at him. So right here is where I see what I was talking about earlier, where the Mandalorian's kind of mentality is going. And in this point, it's basically the killing aspect. He doesn't want to just kill anyone. Obviously, he has a certain honor and a certain code behind him. But he sees this guy, and he's trying to tell him to relax, and that we're not going to kill you, and if you just follow instructions. And he's trying to negotiate with the mercenaries who are actually trying to kill him. And, you see that the Mandalorian is really trying not to have that type of way where he's killing needlessly. And obviously this guy died because of the fact that the mercenaries pulled the trick. But in that scene it was really intense because you see blasters pointing at at every single person, and you see everyone is like on fire, and they're just like their blood is boiling. But this little girl comes in, throws a knife, kills the guy, and everything's settled down. But with that happening, their time is running short because of the fact that this guy had a little kind of homing beacon, like a distress call type of thing, and they were panicking because they needed to get their target out of this prison ship and head back to the space station. Now, during this whole entire episode, you're wondering, where's Baby Yoda? What is he doing this entire time? Is he just standing around? Is he just doing nothing? And of course, the writers have to include him in some shape, way, or form. So he's on the ship, and he's messing around with this droid who's piloting the ship, and basically is fooling around with him. And he's kind of scared to some degree. But at one point of the scene, as the robot is trying to find the Baby Yoda, as they're walking around the ship, you basically see that he's about to use his force powers in some way, shape, or form. Either to destroy the robot or to stop a blaster, because we know Jedis can do that, but again, he's so young, but at the same time, 50 years old. We don't know what these abilities can be with the force power. So I really love the fact that they're incorporating more of the style of the force with the Baby Yoda, and they're introducing little by little what he can do, because that is something that as fans of Star Wars we're going to appreciate more when they start getting to the Jedi type of mind tricks and the force powers and things of that sort. So I really like the fact that they were including this with the Baby Yoda to see what he's able to do. Alright, so these guys are leaving the control room. They're trying to get their bounty. They get to the location where the bounty is supposed to be at, and it's the brother of the girl that he had a fling for. So they obviously know each other, and then right there and then, boom, the betrayal happens. The mercenaries decide to throw him inside a jail cell, and they're running to his ship. Obviously, he's not going to take that lying down, and cleverly enough, I found it was so interesting that how they did that, because I was wondering, how is he going to escape, because the ship is gonna blow up soon. They included this robot who was the security droids, basically come and walk towards the halls, and he was able to trick that droid to stick his arm into his cage, and he was able to rip it off and get the key that's built into their arms, in the droid's arms. So it was really interesting how they did that. I really liked that also with action scenes as well. And it really showed the action itself, because once he got out of that cage, he goes back to the control room and he locks everyone down, preventing them from getting on the ship. This is where you see all the hell breaks loose. He's fighting this giant horn-looking guy, part of his mercenary group, and he's tough as nails. He can be impervious to almost everything and anything. He's strong as a bull. He takes a flamethrower to the face, and he's like, oh, that's just like a little tickle. And a door drops on him, and he's like, okay, this is nothing. A door slams on him, and he's like, okay, well, that's it. And, those are the type of styles that I really liked. There was a sense of humor behind it throughout the episode between the characters and the Mandalorian. So I enjoyed that aspect of the episode. I like the fact that they were using the scenes also to fight the old flame with the Mandalorian, and that she's a very weapon, he loves using her knives and throwing knives at him. And he was able to defend it and stop her. But you really don't see where they leave off, because he gets to a point where he's getting to get the last mercenary, and the lights are flickering, and I love the camera effect in this, because as the lights flicker on, you see him move closer and closer towards his target. And once the light turns on and he realizes what happens, he gets attacked. That's where we see at the end that all those mercenary guys were not killed. And again, goes back to the mentality that I was talking about, that he's not killing these people, he's just leaving them alive. And in this case, they left all three of them in a cage together all by themselves. So at the end of the episode, we see that he's also not killing every single person within the close proximity, which I also like at the same time, because it introduces them as villains throughout the next season or throughout this season, potentially. And they don't have to re-explain the character anymore. So I really like that aspect, that they didn't kill him off, but at the same time, it also explains the type of mentality that the Mandalorian is having. But at the very end, once he takes the target back to the space station and meets up with his old friend, I guess he realizes that his old friend knew that they were gonna kill him in the end. So he portrays him by putting that little tracking system on the prisoner, so that they could bring in the Republic X-wings and destroy the space station. So it was a bittersweet moment because I really liked the idea of the space station, and I thought that would be like a new way for them to introduce new characters with the space station, that he can get repairs and get jobs, but it's still outside the guild. So I really liked the fact that they incorporated this space station, but I didn't like the fact that they had to blow it up and he has no way to go back to that location. And it was actually really funny at the end of the episode too, because you see Mandalorian talking to the Baby Yoda in the back seat as they're flying away. And he's like, oh yeah, I told you we shouldn't have taken that job. It's like they have a normal conversation. So I thought it was really funny. They included that humor as well to the episode. And I can't wait for the next episode to come out. Episode 7 should be coming out pretty soon. And I really can't wait for it to come out. I'm waiting to see also the new movie. And that's going to be one of those days that is going to be memorable. So overall, this episode, I rated probably an 8 out of 10. I liked everything about it, like the action sequences. I love the lighting effects. I love the story as well. I didn't like the fact that they had to kill the space station and the guys in the space station, just because I think that could have enveloped or developed into something more with future characters and future storylines. So it would have been a nice way station for him to go back and get more bounties and things like that, and it progresses the episode. So I really don't know how the episode's going to progress. Maybe next episode we'll find out. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my episode. Please hit that like and subscribe below. Also stay tuned for any new content and any new videos that I might be putting out in the future. So thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.